The amazing machines I've been lucky enough to test have brought me to some extreme places. From testing my limits behind the wheel of a Lamborghini on a Spanish racetrack to fording through the river from a melting glacier in Iceland in a Land Rover. But my latest adventure is certainly the most epic yet, driving one of the world's most capable off-road machines, the Toyota Land Cruiser, in what might just be the planet's most dangerous and remote environment, the Australian outback. And I did not wait for the film crew to get here before getting it dirty. So why would Toyota fly me 10,000 miles to drive a truck that, let's be honest, no one really buys? Well, I'm sure the first part is that they're hoping to sell more of them. But apart from that, it just makes for a great story. I mean, the Land Cruiser is a quintessentially Australian machine. It's modern and sophisticated, much like our Aussie hosts here, and at the same time, it's designed to tackle pretty much any terrain. After all, I'm talking about a people here that built civilization on a continent where pretty much everything wants to kill you. So what's so new about this Land Cruiser, and why should you care? Well, the first part of that question is a lot easier to answer. The short story is it's got a new look, there's a new transmission, as well as new safety and technology features. The second part of that question is the one that I've been asking myself since I first started researching all the different animals on this continent that want to kill you. But I gotta say, out of everything I've read, it's those drop bears that really freak the shit out of me. But let's get back to what's new. Selling about 3,000 trucks a year, it's fair to say a lot of folks just don't get the Land Cruiser. It takes a special breed to spend close to 6 figures on a Toyota. But those who get it really get it. And Toyota has its customers figured out so well that there really are almost no option boxes to check with this vehicle. Pretty much you choose your exterior color, and when it comes to the interior, you pick either black or brown. As a result, it's extremely well equipped. I mean, it's a beautiful place to be, and on top of that, it has pretty much every single luxury feature you could want. So yes, it's a Toyota, but sorry folks, this is not a Corolla. For 2016, the cabin has been modernized with a new 9-inch display screen with Toyota's Entune audio system, plus it even has a wireless charging for your cell phone. Backseat passengers get to enjoy a standard entertainment system with 2 11.6-inch monitors. The safety suite is impressive and now boasts lane departure warning, blind spot monitoring, and rear cross traffic alert, as well as a frontal collision avoidance and frontal collision mitigation system that will apply the brakes at speeds below 24 miles an hour to either help minimize the impact of a collision or stop it entirely. And it might even work on kangaroos. When it comes to on-road manners, there's no denying that this is a true truck. Now, what I mean by that is when the road starts getting choppy, the truck suspension just kind of gets all wobbly and you feel those bumps just reverberating right through the chassis. If you are actually thinking about buying a Land Cruiser as a functional family vehicle, I have to point out that it does have 3 full rows of seating. And yes, I actually even fit all the way in the back, although my knees are pretty much up near my face. If I do have a beef in here, it's that there is only one USB port. Now that doesn't seem like a big deal until you get the car loaded up for a road trip and everyone's fighting over who gets to recharge their phone. On the outside, the design has been revamped from the side mirrors all the way forward. But let's be honest, you probably didn't notice because it's not all that dramatic a change. And on top of all that, you probably didn't really know what a Land Cruiser looked like before this anyway. As for the rest of the vehicle, well, you know, it looks pretty understated for its sort of competitive set of vehicles, which include cars like the Range Rover and the Mercedes G-Class, especially with those 18-inch wheels on it. They really just don't give it any big presence on the road, but there's a good reasons for that. And there's lots of tire there because this thing is actually designed to go off-road. Now, Toyota's marketing department tells me that Of all the vehicles Toyota sells, this one actually has the highest percentage of owners that really take their vehicles off the beaten path. And that's the real reason we're here in the Outback. With 9.1 inches of ground clearance, skid plates, a 30-degree approach angle, and 20-degree departure angle, it's amazing what the Land Cruiser will cruise right over. As a proper off-roader, it comes with a 2-speed transfer case with a whole set of lower gears. Much like other modern trucks, it offers selectable off-road programs designed to suit your environment. The Multi-Terrain Select lets you pick between 5 different settings. Yes, this feature is available in some other trucks, but the Land Cruiser pairs it with what's called a multi-terrain monitor. And what that is it actually uses the luxury SUV's front, rear, and side cameras to give you a view of what is around your truck. Now, that's great because you can actually check out obstacles and avoid them while you're moving along. Because you know what? Actually having to get out and look at them yourself, that's for poor people. If getting dirty is your thing, a lot of off-road guys will detach their sway bars for better wheel articulation. But not here. The Land Cruiser uses what Toyota calls a kinetic dynamic suspension system that hydraulically adjusts the sway bars for you. This is particularly helpful when going over obstacles or through ruts. There are almost too many off-road features on this truck to discuss, and I'm not going to go through all of them, so I will point out the most important, and that's called crawl control. Now, you activate it by pressing this one little button on the center console, and then use the little control knob right next to it to select one of 5 preset speeds. So we're in the 3rd setting right now, somewhere in the mid-range, and we're on this really steep incline. I'm basically just going to let off the brake, and the vehicle just takes over control. It's pulsing the brakes right now. I can pull my legs back and it will keep this constant speed no matter how steep it gets. It's basically off-roading cruise control. A sign of just how much Toyota gets off-roaders is the tire pressure monitoring system in this truck. I mean, not only does it measure the pressure in the 4 tires that are actually on the truck, but it also measures the pressure in your spare tire, because anybody who goes off-roading knows the only thing worse than needing your spare is discovering that it's flat. And the Land Cruiser is a true truck in more ways than one. Sure, it's exceptionally good at off-roading, but it can also tow up to 8,100 pounds, in fact. Now, the reason for that is what's under the hood. Well, you can get a turbo diesel engine here in Australia. Back at home, we get a 5.7 liter V8, and now it's actually made it to a new 8-speed automatic transmission. But even with the 8-speed automatic, fuel economy is not great. Now, I know that it's a big SUV packed full of luxury features, but I was never able to get 18 miles per gallon. As I've learned through my adventures in the Outback, the Land Cruiser and Australia share a unique history. Australia was actually the first export market for this truck, and arguably it's right here where it earned a reputation for durability, and really Toyota did too. But let's be honest here. This isn't the next evolution of the automobile. It's not part of a growing trend. In fact, it is quite the opposite. Packed with creature comforts and the latest in off-road technology, this is a true example of a brand that is honoring its roots. Because you realize when you come to a place like this, that for a lot of the world, and yes, even still parts of America, that civilization is something you have to bring with you.